Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. How you doing tonight, Juice?
Feeling pretty numb, Danny. Ready to do this. Ready to
Oh,
go.
always like that feeling going into a pretty fun night. It was supposed to be. If anyone missed the Royal Rumble, you're probably
Oh
better
boy.
for it. But tonight we have our WrestleMania prediction card. That's going to be our main event for tonight. We're going to book night one and night two together tonight. And if you want to help us, please put your thoughts in the chat and we will definitely take them into consideration.
Yeah.
Before that, though, what do we have in store, Juice?
Well, we have some trivia to kick off from me to you. And we're also going to do an AEW pack opening for some cards after the commercial break.
Nice.
And also, we're going to reveal the leaderboards for the Week 0 Road to WrestleMania fantasy game we are doing this season. We have 10 people taking part. We'd like to thank all of them for joining in along with the fun. It was fun to score. It was fun to do, and we'll go over the Royal Rumble scoring and show where everybody's at. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I got some
So
questions for you when we get there.
yeah.
Oh, got a
So
new follower. I can't
we
see
got.
their name.
I'll go. I think you got burned. You
There
got
you go.
burned. Thank you for the follow. We really appreciate that, man.
Pretty dope.
Means a
Or
lot. We appreciate
woman.
any and all support. And speaking of, if you are here for the first time or watching on our on demand via YouTube or Twitch itself, please do be sure to hit us with a follow and a like and a subscribe. All the good little things that make us happy. We do appreciate it. We're at 4 out of 10 subs right now that we'd like to be at, so any support would be great. And if you do have Amazon Prime, you do get one free sub monthly to use through your Amazon Prime Gaming tab. All the instructions on how to use it are there in the chat. Costs you nothing, and it supports us all the same. So, yeah. We do appreciate that. Thank you, though, you got burned. We appreciate the follow. Awesome. All right, so let's get started. Some trivia here for Danny, and if anybody in the chat would like to throw out a guess, go for it. On the heels of the Royal Rumble, it got me thinking about Mr. Jey Uso.
Ugh.
Jey Uso's WrestleMania record lifetime is 5-5.
Okay.
10 matches. How many of those 10 matches were not involving the tag team championships? You know it's 10.
Okay.
5-5.
So
Out of those 10, how many did not involve the tag team titles?
the obvious brother versus brother match last year. I don't know 10 of his matches though. I gotta assume he was in a bunch of.
How dare you?
I gotta assume he was in like a Money in the Bank or an Intercontinental. Like, I don't think he was in a lot of singles matches though. I'm gonna say
it could still be tag matches not involving the tag titles.
yeah, I don't believe he would be on a WrestleMania card in a tag match with no tag titles. So I'm gonna say 3 out of 10.
You are correct, Danny.
Ah, nice.
You got it. So the 3 matches that he was in were obviously the Jimmy versus Jay last year. The Usos fought the Dudleys. I believe it was 32. I have written. They fought them in a tag match, no titles on the line.
That's so funny.
And then the other one, the third one, he was in. I think it was 33. He was in one of the Andre the Giant Battle Royals.
So yeah, I figured it would be something like that multi-man thing. That's so funny that the Dudleys though, like that wasn't a that was a major promo enough for them to have a tag. That's interesting. No stipulation or anything.
I don't believe so. I didn't see one. It may have been a table, but I don't think at WrestleMania it was a stipulation.
All right.
But yeah, pretty crazy to do that, and 7 matches involving tag titles out of the 10 for him. So we'll see how this one goes.
Now
upcoming
he's
at WrestleMania
for the
41.
World Championship.
Oh well, we will see about that. So segueing into our leaderboards for the first show. So again, this is only the scoring for the Royal Rumble. While I did send out everybody their scores for Monday Night Raw, they are not included here in the numbers. That number will be updated in next week's episode when I have Raw and SmackDown cumulative to add to the scoring. So if you want to pop that up, so here you go. So coming out of the Royal Rumble, out of week 0, as I was calling it, we have Burn in first place with 188 points. He had the best week of everybody. Killer Tomato in second with 176. Jim Fields with 174. Harley with 168. Jay right behind her with 166. And Danny and Keverlast tied at 158.
I can't get away from this man.
From there, a little bit of a drop-off, unfortunately, for our bottom 3. TJ with a 122. Tanner from Till 5 Wrestling with 112. And Notorious ATB also with Till 5 at 110. The bottom of the pack. As you can see from the scoring, the top scorers, it definitely paid off to have Cody and KO on your roster this week. So, and also Ciampa and Gargano at 3 million each were a big deal. If you had those 4, you cleaned up pretty well.
Yeah, that's
from
right.
there.
That's why I made the mistake. I didn't put KO on, and I was hesitant. I was back and forth with KO, and I wasn't sure with the Royal Rumble winners where it would go, and that's where I made the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, because the gambles with if KO won, because you get points from KO winning, but then also Cody losing, so the points kind of offset anyway. Yeah. So if you have both. And then from there, the Rumble winners, Jay and Charlotte getting 22 and 20. Roman and Braun and Sammy stacking up more points than usual because of the finishers they were hitting in the match. Mm-hmm. And from there, everybody else was essentially like, I think 10 or 8 points just for appearing and maybe not hitting anything. Killer Tomato, Charlotte's ears are huge. That is accurate. Unfortunately, I did not score any points for Charlotte's ears, nor their size. But
the bonus points, that's messed up, man.
No bonus points, unfortunately. But yeah, so this was a lot of fun to score. I think the only thing I really had to go back and rewatch was the ladder match to make sure I had the foreign object hits counted correctly. And turns out I did miss one. It was the final move. I was so caught off guard I didn't even count it.
I mean, the whole match was crazy. So we'll get to that on Thursday. Yeah. But no, I can fully understand why you would miss one or two.
Yeah. So congrats to everybody that took part. I am happy to see that the scoring relatively stayed in the ballpark for everybody. I was kind of worried that it was going to get a little out of hand for 1 or 2 people and not be fun the rest of the way. But I think this is workable for everybody the rest of the way because it's a 10-week game for everyone that didn't do the math in their heads. So we're in week 1 right now. It ends at week 10 with the Mania. So you have 2.5 months to catch up with one pay-per-view along the way.
Very interested to see what our buddies over at Till 5 feel about being in dead last. So we'll talk to them about that later.
Yeah. So any questions from chat about the scoring or anything in particular, let me know. Danny, if you have any questions, I know you're in this as well. I abstained for the sake of running it.
Killer Tomato says it's time to play the game, and I'm very upset by that.
Oh, we are playing the game. It's been time.
No, so my only question, and you kind of answered, was how the scoring was for you. I know we were talking last week if it was going to be really difficult, if it was going to be annoying, and it, especially with more specifically Raw, I guess, than Royal Rumble, because Royal Rumble is a lot of action. But how was scoring Raw last night because especially as someone who doesn't watch it on the regular?
Yeah, it was very easy to score. Because once I know who's being drafted for that week, I know who to watch and who to keep track of. So, for example, that Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee versus New Day match, I think that they did last night, I just skipped it until the end in case somebody came out because nobody had those 4 people. So, if I know someone's not really going to be there, I don't really count it. So, Raw was very easy to score. And I didn't have to watch all of it. I skipped a lot, but I made sure I got everybody and everything. Nice. Nothing essential was missed. And by all means, along the way, if anything seems off, call me on it. I can go back and absolutely rewatch and make a judgment call. I don't mind. Nothing's set in stone. Only decision I do that's not easy when you can't find a match card. Well, I will say, this past week was tricky because of the Rumble. They didn't want to announce a lot at post. But now future weeks are going to be easy because they've already announced 2 matches for Raw next week, I believe. So Logan and Ray are in there. Lyra and Bailey, I think, are in there. So now probably a good idea to draft 2, if not all 4 of those people because they're in matches.
Yeah.
It's just a matter. Although look what happened this week with EO and Liv. Liv won by DQ, so EO actually got -2 points for that DQ. So things to keep in mind, obviously, when you're drafting. That's why you want to be a little smart about it because DQs can happen and they can affect you. The only thing I can bring up that I did not count for the Raw scoring was I saw there was this segment that aired during the Netflix commercial break, and only like the premium top people got access to the segment. It was with A-Town Down Under, Otis Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree.
Oh yeah, I saw that backstage thing. I was wondering why I didn't see it, but then now
I saw it on Twitter, but it wasn't on the feed that I watched, and I found out afterwards the only people with the premium thing. Stuff like that, I'm not going to count. So
yeah, because that like how
now.
you gonna know about like you don't have the premium feed, they're not gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
unless you give us subs, guys, and then we can pay for premium access, and then we can count these things. But we need your subs. Please give us your subs.
What is quote unquote Twitter? Well, that's a whole other story.
But
yeah, so this is the ranking. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Again, it's been pretty fun so far. I hope it keeps up with the next few weeks. If anybody has any questions, hit me up. Let me know. This will be posted tomorrow over on our socials for everyone to see and brag and talk about and know where they're at now up against their competition.
Sweet. All right. Well, with that being said, I think it's time to get into leading the way, baby. You got burned. Just
got it burned.
Gets on just to gloat. Son of a beat.
Hey, if there's ever a time.
No,
he had a
sure,
good
man.
showing.
Great time.
And he did
188.
Good.
Huge number.
Yeah.
Huge number. And like I said, definitely, without question, got the top 4. Probably picked Uso in there. Great picks. So, good job. So, we are moving on to our Wait, are we doing Fantasy Booking Night 1? Yes. Fantasy Booking Night 1. I got nervous for a second. So, Fantasy Booking Night 1, bam. We got WrestleMania 41 last year, right after the Royal Rumble. We did the same segment. Juice feels as if he took over the segment last year, and me and Matt have agreed that it was pretty much exactly what we wanted to do. Juice just said it first, and we had no problem with it. But this year, I'm going to make sure that I talk more than Juice. No, I'm just kidding. This year, we're just making sure that we do it at the same time together, and fresh off Royal Rumble, so we don't really know a lot of the direction they're going, and we have some seeds planted, whether we like it or not. We have some seeds planted, but we'll see where we go. We see what we think. We are doing night 1 and night 2. So what we're going to do, and a little change from last year, is we're going to do night 1 first. We have a suggestion box on the right side that we are going to put like matches we're unsure about, matches that we're going to, mull over that might change. But on the left side are going to be the ones that we think are a lock. So if you have any suggestions you want to throw out there, please put them in chat. We'll include them in the suggestion box, and then we'll see how it goes. All right?
Anybody and everything. We want to hear all ideas, not our ideas. And again, this is us like legit trying to figure out what we think they're going to do. This isn't us like really like, we want to go wild with ideas, but we want to kind of stay in the realm of what we think is going to happen so we can look back. For context, I looked back at our card last year. We only got 3 matches correct of the 14. So we didn't do great. This was before the Rumble winners picked who they were fighting. This was before The Rock showed up and blew everything up. I think we did it like the night before.
Yeah.
The night before he showed up and everything changed. We got the women's matches right, which wasn't probably that hard, the women's title. And then we did get Cody versus Roman right, although we did write Hogan was going to be the referee. But,
I still don't know why we wrote that.
Oh, I know why. Because it was in Philly with the whole Rocky thing. And also with Cody, he was basically, Roman was chasing Hogan at that point. I think if Roman made it to SummerSlam, Hogan was going to get past. So I was like, it'd be great if like Roman was the one, like Hogan. It made sense. First suggestion: Steph McCare versus Rhea Ripley lingerie match.
I'm gonna have to already veto that just because they don't do lingerie matches anymore, and I don't think that's gonna be a thing that they bring back for WrestleMania 41. I apologize, Killer Tomato.
All right. So I'll let you start us off.
Yeah.
I'll let you start off. What's the one match in your head, on your paper, whatever, that you think is like
That's
It's
a
gonna happen.
lock
Yeah.
for night one specifically, though, correct?
Yeah, or night two. Honestly, at this point, night one, night two is relative. It's just so we have a way to split it.
All right.
But
Well, I think
yeah,
the easy one, well, not the easy one, but what I assume is the obvious one is Jey Uso versus Gunther. I think Jey Uso's not going to be, or sorry, Walter. I apologize.
thank you, thank
Jey
you, thank
Uso,
you.
I don't see going to SmackDown versus Cody because that means one of them turns heel, which doesn't make sense. And plus, you have already the Jey Uso seeds planted with Walter after Saturday Night's Main Event, and they didn't really get much like too deep into that feud, so they can really spell it out here and really go with it.
Yeah, I don't think one or the other of Jay and Cody would have to turn heel per se. I mean, the crowd's probably going to stick with Jay because of the Yeet stuff. I don't think they're going to turn on Cody, but I get your point.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm saying for
I'm
for
with you.
WrestleMania, they usually like to try to do face versus heel for like their big matches. Usually, not always.
Yeah, either way, I'm with you. I'm fine with writing in Jey Uso versus Walter, and we can make it the first match of the next. Odds are it will kick off one of the shows.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the other thing. Is like we are also again we are trying to book this realistically. We're not doing a fantasy booking of what we hope to see. It's what we think based on just
I
what
mean,
we've seen with
yeah,
WWE and stuff. So I really don't think it's gonna be the main event, which is so funny because that's the whole thing. Main event Jey Uso, yada yada yada. But we've seen that in the past where they've had the WrestleMania winner open up the show, and I think
mhm.
that's gonna be the same thing here. I think you're saving the main event for the Punk. You're saving main event for John Cena. You're saving main event for Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. So I agree with you. I think it's going to open up the match
Yeah.
or the night.
So, yeah, I'll go next. I'll throw out Owens versus Zayn. Seems
Yes.
like that's definitely going to happen. So I don't think we need to really worry too much about those two names elsewhere. Um, who else? Kivyun.
Yeah, I had a spaz attack there. That was wild.
Um, the only thing left to think about is will it have a stip?
It
Because
has to. It has to
will
be
it
like a
get?
street fight or has to be some kind of like something for this to blow off. It can't just be a one-on-one, man. They've been building up this good friends turn enemies, all this stuff. Like it's got to be like a bloodbath almost.
I was thinking Cage or Cell. I don't know if they would do Hell in a Cell because they just did Hell in a Cell there. What 38 with Edge and Balor,
Yeah, but
but
I mean they do it every few years, but also like
yeah.
I don't know if Hell in a Cell will give it justice. I think they need to like not be contained. I think they need to be able to like fight all over the stadium. I would like a street fight. I think that would be great.
Okay. We can write in Street Fight then. I'm good with that. If you want, you don't have to write it in, but
Why not?
okay. Canadian Street Fight rules. Yes, in Las Vegas.
Canadian street fight in Las Vegas.
Canadian
A
Street Fight in Las Vegas.
A.
All right.
All right. Next
So
up, we're gonna go with the women. So we have Charlotte. I think, and this one I am still mulling over, and I want to see what you think. But I think they're gonna go with Rhea. I think they're gonna try to like kind of close that little trilogy. They have two matches at Mania already, so this is kind of the the third match to kind of say who's the best out of them. I don't really see the Tiffany thing just because like even if you bring Charlotte over there and this isn't a face heel thing, they're both gonna kind of be like Tiffany has the momentum, Charlotte's still gonna be kind of booed but still cheered, whatever. I think their characters are too similar for that to be like a good feud. I think the Rhea Charlotte contrast WWE tries to play into more, so I think that's where they're gonna go. Curious
yeah,
to see what you think.
I don't know because like I didn't watch the whole promo, but from what I gathered, of course they tried to make her a babyface last night, and the crowd was booing.
Oh yeah,
So like
duh.
it's just like so I don't know where they're trying to fit her in. Because technically, Rhea is a baby and Tiff's a heel. So if you're going off your logic and trying to make her a baby, she's going after Stratton. Um,
But I never believe Charlotte's a face because the crowd's never going to treat her like that.
I mean, we
That's the
know that, but
problem.
still, doesn't change what they're going to want to try and pull. Um, I still think I don't see the point in doing Rhea Charlotte again after doing it 2 years ago with literally no build and a good match at the show. I still think it's Stratton, because then you just think, okay, so if you do Rhea and Charlotte, who does Tiffany Stratton get at WrestleMania? Does Tiffany Stratton make it to WrestleMania as Women's Champion? I think she does.
That's what I was going to ask. Does she? Because I don't know if she does. Or is it like a multi-person? I don't know.
Eh,
All right,
I
so
don't know.
here's what we're going to do. We're going to put in the suggestion box Charlotte
Yeah,
versus Rhea and Charlotte versus Tiff. And
yeah.
chat,
We'll,
let us know what
we'll
you guys
revisit.
think.
We'll revisit. Um,
Yeah, we'll revisit after the chat puts in hopefully some
so let's
opinions.
Alexa versus Tiff. Maybe. I mean, I do think
Ooh,
Alexa.
Alexa versus Rhea, though, I also would like. Because
uh,
that's real contrast. I'm going to put that in there.
or Nikki Bella. What about Nikki?
Get the hell out of
You
here.
can look, but you
Stop.
can't touch.
Stop it.
You can't feel from
All right.
God to
So where do you
God.
want to go next? Look, you're messing with me. I don't even know how to type right now.
Okay, Danny.
Where are
You'll
we
get there
going?
one
Yeah,
day.
it's all your fault. It's not me.
You know what? I'll save it for night two, 'cause we already did Rousseau and Walter. I don't want to talk about them yet. Um, let's talk IC title, Braun Breaker.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
Sing it, Juice. Oh my God, Turbo Dervers. After the promo, I say Rhea versus Charlotte and Tiff versus Liv. Yeah, I mean, I want to see how the week goes, because clearly they already said Charlotte's going to be on NXT tonight, which, by the way, makes no sense. And I mean, it
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
she's
It's
really
stupid,
going to
but
challenge for the NXT Women's title again.
well, they've made it very clear that it's Raw or SmackDown this year. Like,
I
they
know.
haven't
I
really
don't
brought up.
understand.
They're doing it for the ratings bump, but whatever. So she's going to be
They
on
do that all
NXT.
the
She's going to
time.
be on SmackDown to do the same thing. So she's going to interact with Tiff anyway. That'll make us think Tiff after
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown. So we'll wait. But yeah, I want to talk Braun Breaker. So I had written down Braun versus Penta, but then after last night, it seems like it's going to be Braun versus Styles for the IC title.
Yeah,
Mania.
I don't
I
think
want to
I
see
don't.
what you think.
I agree with that. Also, I do think it's going to be more possibly Ray and Penta or something with them. Maybe a tag team, maybe a one-on-one. I don't know. But after last night, and I like it. AJ needs a real good direction for WrestleMania. He's gonna put over Braun, which is great. They're gonna put on a hell of a match. I do think that's where they're going, and I hope that's where they're going. I don't want a multi-man match. I don't want a triple threat with Sheamus. I think Sheamus has had a
I'm
triple
over
threat,
it.
and I think he's had a singles IC title shot in the past few years. So like he doesn't
Yes,
need
yes.
more IC title shot at WrestleMania. He'll probably be in a multi-man match or he'll be in something, but I don't want the IC title to be a multi-man match. I really think it's Braun versus AJ also. I agree with you. But Juice
I mean,
loves him.
I was gonna propose the multi-man like ladder idea. I know they did a ladder tag title one last year, but yeah, yeah,
I
I'm fine
think
with
they
writing
do
in
that
Braun and Styles. So.
with possibly the US because Shinsuke, I don't know what they're going to do with Shinsuke. So we'll talk about
I
that for
mean,
night two.
I was gonna say I have an idea for the U.S. title, but yeah, we could talk about it.
Braun Breaker, remind me, one N or two N's, or is it two Ks?
It's one and two Ks.
That's right. Okay. Hey, man.
No, it's WWE, man. It's their
Braun
way.
Breaker versus AJ Styles. I'm so happy to see AJ back, by the way. I love AJ Styles. He's so good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
And tag titles, I think, is where I want to go next. Because I do
Which
think
one?
both tag titles are going to be put on the line. I think so. Here's where I'm don't know where to go. Like, how are we doing? Well, you know what? Based on
Which
how we're
show?
doing night one, I think we're gonna do a multi-man tag title for SmackDown, and we have a lot of singles matches so far on night one. So I think we're gonna put the multi-man here. If you agree, I think they're gonna do a four-way. I think they're kind of setting up constant fighting with the tag titles, and I do think they want to showcase at least three of those teams with Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY. So I think they kind of throw either LaGarza's in there or Pretty Deadly, probably Garza's, and they do a four-way tag title match.
Yeah, I can get with that. If I had written down DIY, Guns, and Profits triple threat TLC, like just straight up run it back, like
Ooh. Do
triple
you think
threat.
they
Like,
would do a TLC though?
I
I
do.
hope so.
I mean, you
I
essentially just did a
I
four-way
prefer
ladder match
that.
last year. But again, we could do the four-way. I don't mind, but that's what I had written in. I'm fine with either match we propose. I think we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. I'm good with that. I like the TLC better, to be honest with you.
Okay.
TLC. We
I just
have
didn't know if they do a street fight and a
DIY.
TLC on the same night. But at this point, I'm not really hung up on which night we put what. As long as we get the match right, I
Right.
think we're on the right path. Yeah. This is just for the sake of keeping.
Yeah. If we could get the night and the match right, that's extra points. But just getting the match right, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. And by the way, just for everyone at home,
That's a
last year
lot
at
of.
Mania they did 7 matches per night. So we are going to aim to keep it at 7 each night. We're going to try not to go over 14 matches.
Yeah, we just have the extra spot there in case we think of a really good match that we just want to throw in there. But yeah, we're gonna do 7 each. All right, so we got 4 right now. What do you think's going up next?
Let's talk one of the women's mid cards. So we're hung up on the Charlotte thing.
Can I pause you actually for a second, because that just hit me.
Sure.
Of these 14 matches, are we saying that we're gonna have 11 title matches? Or 9 title matches? We have 2 world, 2 women, so that's 4. 2 tag team is 6. Now we have 2 mid cards each, so that's 10.
Yeah,
and then we have the women's tag, so that's 11.
If I recall, last year, I think every
right?
belt was defended last year. So
all right, so 11 of these 14 are going to be title match. I just want to make sure we're on the same wavelength with that. Cool. All right.
Yeah,
so
I mean, listen, will something get left off in real time? Yeah, for the sake of what we're doing, we could leave it off, but I think everything will be on the show.
There is also a possibility that they do a pre-show for Wrestlemania. I know they usually don't do matches on the pre-shows anymore, but possibility they do a pre-show. Throwing that out there.
So Killer Tomato suggests Lyra versus Roxanne Perez. And I have to say, I don't hate it.
I would like that a lot. I don't think they're going to just give those two the spotlight, though. I think there's too many women.
So here's the thing. So I didn't even know. So I saw a promo from Roxanne. Apparently, Roxanne is on the main roster now, even though she didn't show up yet on Raw. But apparently, she cut a promo and made it very clear that she's now it's a call up. So we'll see. We'll give it some time.
I like how they really explain that to us. That's fantastic.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe she just misspoke. She got that big push within the Rumble. Yeah, she was in the final too.
Yeah, that's why I do think she's getting the call up, because of her position in the Rumble. It's silly that they're probably going to use the transfer window thing, and they got it just in time with the transfer window, and they didn't tell us. Whatever. It's just, I know it's going to annoy us when they reveal why.
So I'd really like to think that one of these 2 matches is going to be a multi-woman. So you got to get them on the show in some way. So I had written in Lyra versus Bailey. Obviously, originally I had Lyra Becky, but now I don't know about Becky. He writes Roxanne Perez. So I'm starting to get to a point where I want to maybe loop in a bunch of these names, but we can write them all in the suggestion box.
What's funny? I had Lyra Alexa.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? No, it's a lot of names. Someone's going to get left off the show, man.
I didn't even think about Bailey. I figured Bailey was going to be doing something. Honestly, what I assume, and this is going to sound strange, and this could be for night 1 or night 2, I think Bailey might be teaming up with Jade to face Naomi and Bianca when that reveal happens, because she is so wrapped up in that storyline. So that's why I didn't even think Bailey for this, to be honest with you.
So all right, so we can add all of this to the suggestion box probably, because I have Bianca versus Naomi versus Jade, just full on triple threat.
Oh, okay.
By that point, they lose the tag belts along the way, and then this one's a little bit out there, but I had written down Liv and Raquel defending the women's tag belts against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who reunite with their history and the Wyatt Six and all that. Okay. That's what I have. I mean, again, we can put it in the box. We can play around with it and see what other people think as we move along. But I feel it's crazy that most of our suggestion box is all the women's matches right now, but this is there's so many of them and so little spots. It's like who's gonna miss out on this show?
You say Alexa
You know?
Cross versus Naomi Bianca?
Yeah. No. Alexa and Cross versus Liv and Raquel.
Liv Raquel. Oh man, that's so many women. Holy crap.
I know. That's the thing. Like they're gonna miss out. And that's why I do think maybe some of the belts don't make the show. But like you gotta have the women on. I feel like you have to have at least 2 women's matches both nights.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to have at least 4. Yeah.
At this point. So we got to get one of these matches, 2 of these matches on this show at this point before on night 1. I think we need to figure out 2 right now.
And the funny thing is, we started with Lyra, and now we completely gone away from Lyra.
I mean, we can add those too, but yeah, I think we need to chip away at
so I agree with Kill Tomato. I think Chelsea has a multi-women's match just because I think they need more around her for that title match.
Yeah, that's fine. I did have Chelsea versus Nia written down 1-on-1, a little weak, but that's where I kind of went, but and give Chelsea the win. But yeah, I mean, I do think a Chelsea multi-person win would be better than Lyra.
So let's go back to women's IC. You said Lyra versus.
I wrote Bailey. At first, I had Becky. So I had Becky, Bailey, and then Tom wrote Roxanne Perez. So.
All right. And then Lyra, to be honest with you, I wasn't even sure about, so I didn't even have a partner for Lyra. Oh, no. I said Alexa for Lyra. My bad. I looked at that again. Geez, boy. I don't know where to go.
All right. How about this? I'll give you the women's title. You get what Charlotte gets. I'll take what Lyra gets.
All right, go ahead. So you're going to say what for Lyra?
So let's just write in Lyra versus Bailey.
Spell it again, just so I don't spell it wrong.
Lyra.
Lyra. Yeah, see, I already spelled it wrong. Lyra versus Bailey. And then I'm going to go with Charlotte versus Rhea. All right, so...
All right, so let's take off the board the ones that don't need to be there anymore.
That's
not all of them.
No. I just took out the top 2.
Yeah.
I just took out the top 2, I swear.
Okay.
All right.
So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we need one more match on this show.
And that's gotta be the main event.
Well,
we think is gonna be the main event of night 1.
I feel like it needs to be
Charlotte Rhea.
No, I mean, well, it might be. The only other big ones I can suggest is something with Cody or Roman, and those I feel are going to be on night 2.
So I think Punk. What about Punk? Is that night 2? You think Punk's a night 2 guy?
We're going there. So we have this round, what's the word I'm looking for? This day main event, literally his name.
It's not.
We have this turnstile going on right now, Danny, in my head of Cody, Cena, Roman, Rollins, and Punk, and where they're going to land. That's 5 big names, and where are you going to put them?
Yeah.
So if we're doing Jay and Walter on night 1, and Charlotte and Rhea on night 1. I personally don't think any of those people are on night 1. I do think our main event would be either Charlotte, Rhea, or Jay and Walter.
So you think they're saving those 5 names for night 2? All 5 of those names?
Yeah, probably. If you're putting on this show right here on night 1, yes.
That means also Logan Paul is going to be on night 2? Because they're going to have Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
Yeah, listen, I at this point, there's just a lot of talent. It's a lot to think about. I originally had Logan versus Styles written down, and then the Braun Breaker thing happened, and now I'm worried they're going to do Logan versus Punk.
I hope they don't. Yeah. No, I don't think they're doing Logan versus Punk.
I'm worried. I think they're going to do it.
Ugh. All right, let's get this last match for night 1. Um,
All right. Well, I'm not going to worry too much about like what's on night one, night two. To be honest, I mean, I know we can always go back and finagle after we do night two, maybe.
that's
But
fair. So what's the next match then you think's gonna happen that weekend?
I think you're going to get Priest versus McIntyre
Yeah,
one
I
on
heard.
one.
I saw those reports, and that's looking kind of
Yeah.
silly.
Well, even when he eliminated him, I just figured. So,
No, I agree with that. All right.
oh man. All right. Well, that's the first show. Man, there's gonna be so many people left off this pay
I
per
know.
view.
I'm
Like,
just looking at this, and it's just crazy. You're gonna have probably no Finn on this show.
honestly, I
Doc,
wouldn't be surprised if Lyra doesn't even defend on the show. Like, I'm just thinking about it. It's probably not gonna make the card. But we'll leave it unless you really don't want to. But
I mean, once we look at the next night's card, we're gonna
yeah.
definitely have some people like that got to be on.
Yep.
We might have to revisit night one.
Where
Until
do you
where do
put
you
the
put the
War
War
Raiders?
Raiders?
And
That
I'll get to that
yeah,
night
that'll
two.
be tomorrow night.
Well, it'll be tonight, but
You
we'll
know
talk
what I mean.
about it for the commercial break.
All right, please stay tuned. We're going
Yeah.
to take a commercial break and come back and do a card pack-in opening and then do night two. Reigns versus Rollins is another thing that we will be most likely talking about. Stay tuned.
And
Welcome back, everyone, as we look into night two. But before we do that, we have a card pack an opening. Juice, show us what you got.
yeah. So before we open the pack, by popular demand, I do want to share my Spectrum pack opening. So this was the 2022 Spectrum series. I got this 2021 Spectrum series. Sorry, so this is the very first one. I believe this was from Christmas, and it cost about $60-$70 for this one pack of cards. It used to cost, I believe, near like $150-$200 just for this pack. Pretty high value cards in that sense. So I got these for Christmas. I was not thrilled with them, unfortunately, but here we go. I'm going to share. Am I up? Oh, I'm up. I'm being moved around.
Yeah, you're up all by yourself now. Big screen.
Okay. So first up, we have a numbered Matt Seidel card. This is number 43 out of 99.
Nice.
So I like that one. It's nice because it's numbered, and I like Seidel.
I feel like you have a Seidel one that has a similar pose but a different background, so that's interesting.
Probably. Yeah, this is a whole different line, by the way, from what we've been opening. I have an autographed Yuka Sakazaki.
Nice.
Which, listen, I like Yuka. I mean, would I have liked better? Of course, but it could have been way worse. It could have been like Rick Knox or something.
That's cool.
So I'll take a Yuka Sakazaki autograph. Not numbered, but still autographed. It's pretty legit. Next up, we have a little patch, ring-worn, quote-unquote, or memorabilia of Excalibur. A little swatch. I like to think it's the jacket that he's wearing right there that I got a cut of.
I will not Killer Tomato. But yes, that is a cool one. I like the fabric worn stuff. That's always fun.
Yeah. Next up, this is a thick one.
Oh,
this is it's called On the Mat. It's a piece of the ring mat.
Is that Ethan Page?
Ethan Page.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, very, very timely deck here. But yeah, mass used ring memorabilia. So it's pretty cool. Part of the ring.
That's a dope pack, just memorabilia wise.
Yeah, I always wish they showed you like what match or what.
Right, I thought the same thing. Even when they did jerseys, like what game was it or whatever, like it would be cool to know.
It's like that. I'm not gonna waste any more time on this card than I have to. Tony Schiavone.
It's Sting. That's probably what he's saying.
Yeah. And then from there, these are like the base cards of the Spectrum set. I got Preston Vance and Malachi Black.
Nice.
Just basic cards. So, and that's the thing. So you think about like $70 for like 7 cards. So each card there is like worth $10. So it's a very high value deck to get, pack to get. I wish I got better deals, but I didn't. But moving on really quick, we're going to do now an actual pack opening, 2022 Metal Universe.
Oh, you're tricking me. We're doing another one? Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. That was just from requests from last week. Yeah, so I have 2 more of these left, and then we'll move on to a different version of cards. So very quick now, we have UT Marshall base card.
Great. I know that's your favorite.
Ricky Starks. I remember him.
Jesus. 2 for 2. Good job.
Right, we got John Moxley. Ace.
Hey.
Ace. We have a Powerhouse Hobbs blue variant.
I always like those blue variants.
We got Joey Samoe, the blue variant as well.
All right.
Okay. And not lastly, we have we have Malachi Black and Colton Gunn base cards. So
Guns are coming back soon.
Yeah, nothing really great in that one. Yeah, the 2 blue ones, but nothing like that sticks out. So
yeah, usually they give you like a special card or like a special design one in those packs. So that's unfortunate.
WWE has Money in the Bank packs that are $2,000 for one pack. Yeah, card market is crazy like these days. I mean, it's hot.
People are loving it.
But yeah. All right. So thank you to our sponsors, Upper Deck, for that segment. We appreciate you. No, I'm kidding. Any support you want to send my way, I'll be happy to open your packs on stream. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Check at Upper Deck. All right, moving on to WrestleMania 41 Night 2. The suggestion box is a little off center if you wanted to try and fix it.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that, so I'm just gonna move the text to the left so we could just see it.
Fair enough. All right, so I think we should get. Also, you probably are gonna want to fix it because we're gonna want all 7 lines on the screen because they're not gonna show up.
How did this happen? The last one was so good. Here, I got an idea. Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay. Yeah. See, that was perfect.
Yeah,
Do that.
I got. Hold on. You know what? Talk to the guests. Hold on 1 second.
So we're going to night 2 now. So for starters, I think we need to figure out, first and foremost, let's get the women's matches set. I think we need to figure out what Tiff Stratton's going to do. And I think we need to figure out what the women's tag titles are going to do. I think we need to get that settled. And then we can move on to the men's matches. I do think we're going to look back on this and realize that we gave too much space to the women. I do think it's gonna.
You know what it is? It's not that we gave too much space to the women. We're focusing on the wrong women. After you said Lyra's not on, I 100% agree with you that they're gonna focus on the Bianca Naomi storyline. They're gonna focus on the 2 title matches, and then either they give us a random, like not a random, but a women's non-title match, or they put Chelsea Green on for like the multi-women's match to put more women.
So let's put Bianca and Naomi Jade on, and let's get that Bailey tag out of there, because now Bailey's on the other night.
So Bianca versus Naomi versus Jade, we're saying?
Yep.
All right.
And then when it comes to Tiffany Stratton, I mean, besides Alexa, do we have any other ideas we want to throw out there, or do we want to just roll with Alexa versus Tiff?
In the chat they did say Tiff versus Liv, possibly, if that's an idea that you were interested in. I'll put that in there just so we could look at it and see if it hits us right. Oh, that's not even a real name. That's something.
Yeah. If I was between the two, I'd probably go with Liv. I'd probably go with Alexa. I don't really like Liv and Stratton.
Yeah, I don't see how that would work. And plus, Alexa, you want to give a little bit of a spotlight to. I don't think she's gonna win it, but like to give her a main event match or something, I'm fine with that.
Honestly, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I still think it was going to be Charlotte versus Stratton, so I really have no dog in the fight. So if you want to roll with any of these in particular, I'll leave it with you. That's fine.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, next match.
All right. You know what? I'm going to make a bold claim here. I'm going to leave if you're going to do the women's tag titles, it's got to be Liv and Raquel then, winning them at some point from Bianca and Naomi. So
yeah, but then I don't think they're on the card.
You don't think the women's Liv on the card after the year she's had?
If I don't think they're having 5 women's matches on the card.
Oh man! All right,
because remember we have what 5 matches left. We still have the world title, the U.S., the tag team.
Right. You know what we can do now? Let's write some just names, not matches. Let's put some names in the suggestion box. Let's put Cody, Cena, Roman, Rollins, Punk. Let's get them all in there. Logan. Who else do I have on my paper? Right, U.S. title. Actually, you know what? No, don't even put U.S. title. I don't think the U.S. title is going to make the show at all. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know if you disagree. I think that doesn't make the show. Personally, I thought Shinsuke.
Didn't we just say that we thought all 11?
Yeah, but things change. We're bookers here, Danny.
Again, if we're making that change, I also don't think then the IC title for the women's makes the show.
That's fine. We could take it off, but then that leaves Bailey with nothing. We could take it off, unless you want to do Bailey and Chelsea, but they're in different shows now, I think. Oh, they're on the same show.
Bailey is now on... No, Bailey's now on Raw.
Well, she is. So then you can't do Bailey and Chelsea, really.
That's why I still think Bailey's involved with the Bianca storyline.
I mean, if you want to change it and make it a tag, you can do it.
But I don't know.
But we need to make some executive decisions here.
If we're taking out the IC women's match, then I do agree. Then the tag team match would be on there if you're having Liv and Raquel have the tag team titles. But then who do they defend against?
Unless you make it a multi-women's tag team, Jade and Naomi. I mean, Jade and Bianca. Unless you think Jade and Naomi are going to team up, that's the thing. Is Naomi going to turn heel with Jade? Is Jade going to stick with Bianca? Chelsea versus Piper? I don't think they give Chelsea and Piper. That sounds like a SmackDown before Mania match.
Yeah, I don't think that's a title or a singles match. Yeah.
Just to get it out, by the way, really quick, I do think Shinsuke's going to lose the U.S. title between now and Mania. I think he's going to lose it to Jacob Fatu, personally. So.
And then you don't think they have Jacob Fatu on the card?
That's the thing, like Jacob and Solo, and we haven't even talked about a Randy Orton who's still out. Like, so many people.
Okay.
I'm getting
Let's leave
overwhelmed.
what we have right now. Let's just go to the next match. What match do you think's on next?
Let's tackle Cody. I mean, it's either
It has
Cody
to be
and
Cena, right?
It's either Cody and Cena or Cody and Punk. That's it.
I I think it's so for Punk. I think it's a triple threat. I think they kind of show this at the Rumble that like Roman and Rollins have some unfinished business, and Punk literally got in the middle of all that as well, like literally stepping over Roman to go like look at Paul Heyman and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
honestly, Killer Tomato says Cody, Cena, Punk, Rollins. You can't do that because the problem is the winner of the Chamber gets Cody. Essentially,
and
you can't do a multi.
And if Cena doesn't main event Mania, what's the point of him and his little goodbye tour? Like he has to have a title match. It's not going to be against.
Here's the thing, I think whoever Cody gets, Logan's getting the other person between Cena and Punk. That's how I feel. I think if it's Cody Cena, it's Punk Logan. If it's Cody Punk, it's Cena Logan. That's what I think.
Oh, so then based on that logic,
I think it's one of those combos.
Based on that logic, then I think it's going to be Cody Punk and Cena Logan.
Yeah.
But then that's so weird. I guess, yeah.
Honestly, I think that's it too, because I do think they're going to keep this diverse, like overcoming with Cena. Like, you know, he loses the Rumble, he loses the Chamber. Now he's going to be in the Money in the Bank. Maybe he gets Money in the Bank. He probably loses Money in the Bank too. I think he just keeps losing, and like all this. Honestly, I'm not even saying it as a hater. I'm not.
No. I agree with you, and I see where they're going with that story also. I
actually had written in Cody versus Cena, and so like, yeah, we're on the fly here.
And then Roman versus Rollins, I think, is obvious.
Yeah, I agree. So now, that leaves who not on the show. We're going to make a new list here now on the right.
We need the tag team titles, if we think those are going to be on the show.
So let's write Raw tag titles on there, on the side. Women's US, men's US you can write in. And then you can just write women's tag titles, and I would write Randy Orton.
What about LA Knight? Do we think he's not going to be on the show?
Oh, that's what we can figure out here. I mean, so I had written in, if we were going to do a match, I had Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight for the US title. That's what I had written in. But then I kind of said, okay, maybe we don't put US title on the show to get something else on. Now, my crazy match, the craziest match I have on here is for the Raw Tag Team titles, the men's. I have, between now and Mania, the New Day beat the War Raiders for the tag titles. So, not at Mania. Between now and Mania. So now New Day goes into WrestleMania as tag titles, tag champions. They defend them against, bear with me, managed by Big E, Omos, and Braun Strowman. Yeah, I was trying to get like nuts, just pick up match that just made no sense, but like could happen. And I mean, the problem is I'm pretty sure they're on different brands, so it doesn't really hit with Strowman. Actually, Strowman's on SmackDown now, right?
Strowman's on SmackDown, yeah.
He fought Fatu, so I don't think they go there. I had it written in as an idea. I don't see, just like I don't see Shinsuke making the card, I don't see the Raw Raiders making the card. So if we're between that or the New Day winning them, I'd rather just leave the Raw tag titles off the show.
I do think the men's US, I think LA Knight's going to be on the show, and I think Jacob Fatu's going to be on the show. I like that idea of Fatu versus Knight. I think they built up to that, or they're building up to that more and more. I just don't know if they do that early or not. And
Yeah,
Orton,
I mean,
what do you do with Orton? If Orton comes back,
by the way,
what do you do with Orton?
if anybody in chat thinks we're missing anybody that we have not talked about at all so far, put it in the chat now, because I feel like we're at a point where I feel like we've named everyone. Like, I know there's Solo Sikoa and like Dominic Mysterio and Sheamus, but like I can't find it. And then even Rey Mysterio. Like,
oh no,
many...
Rey and Penta. I do think Rey and Penta, something's happening with those two. There's no way they don't have Penta on the show, bro.
Now here's the question: do we think that Phoenix? I don't know what his timetable is. Could Phoenix be in WWE by then?
I have no idea.
Killer Tomato says, "Did you get AJ?" If you mean Styles, yes, we did.
Yeah, AJ Styles.
Harley says Judgment Day. You know what? They could do Finn versus Dom. Like, what if you do Dom and Liv versus who would you put Finn with if you want to do that?
Becky.
That's a weird one.
Aleister Black returns. Some people are saying.
Mm.
Oh, I'm stuck here.
I do think Dom versus Finn could be something. So we had Dom and Finn, and then the other one you said Penta and Rey. Man, there's so many people. Like,
I know.
Everyone's not getting on this show. This is nuts.
I know. I'm trying to see something. Hold on.
Crazy thing is, like, if you AJ Styles is facing Braun Breaker on night 1, we have. Yeah, so like, honestly, all right. So I think everybody that's on night 2, I think all of those people are going to be on the show in some way. Maybe not Bliss, but all those other people are happening.
I'm trying to see when they're saying they think his
contract's up.
Ray.
Because even then, I don't know. Could Bronson Reed be back? I doubt it.
It's saying that they think it's going to be like a few months into 2025.
Checks out. I mean, this is mid-April we're talking. Damn, man. This is rough.
I don't know what to do here.
We're leaving stuff off.
Is there any way no, that wouldn't make sense either. I was gonna say, do they do like a Ray and no Wyatt 6?
No Wyatt 6.
Is there any way they do a Ray and Phoenix versus Dom and someone?
You mean Ray and Penta?
Yeah, sorry. We were just talking about Phoenix. Ray and Penta versus
I mean, you could do Dom and Finn, and that could be the end. That could be the big final blow-up. Could do that. Dom and Finn versus Ray and Penta.
Because I really think Penta's going to be on the card. I don't see how you do
it. No, he will be. Yeah, you know what? Write that one in. I'm fine with that. And that's where Finn and Dom finally break up. Like, Judgment Day, done. Killer Tomato brings up Becky again. Yeah, I still think Becky shows up. I so many people. Maybe they do need 3 nights. Tom and Carlito. Yeah, Carlito won't make the show, but I do think Ray Penta versus Dom and Finn is a good match to put on here. Honestly, what is it? 1, 2, 3. That's 6. It's 3 women's matches. I would say do another. You need the. Jesus. Oy.
If Orton comes back, who do you put him with? The only person that makes sense is KO, and KO is doing the Sami Zayn thing, so that doesn't make sense. I don't think Orton comes back.
Maybe Solo or Jacob Fatu.
I don't think he comes back for Mania, man.
Orton. I mean, is he hurt or just story hurt?
I thought he was just storyline hurt. Like, why? If he's hurt, why is he out for this long?
I thought he was coming back at the Rumble to fight Owens at Mania, but now they're doing Owens and Zayn. So Becky versus Tiff, Charlotte versus Rhea would make sense to change the guard. Do you think Becky's going to make the women's chamber?
I would love to see Becky, but I don't think Becky's making it. I think if Becky was coming back, she would have come back at Rumble.
And also Killer Tomato, they've been really promoting Becky for Raw on Netflix and Tiff's on SmackDown. So they probably don't go that way.
Um,
We need one
last
more.
match.
Let's assume no Orton.
I think they go with LA Knight and Fatu, bro.
They've been doing that so much on SmackDown. Is it
Or
even special?
something with them. Like I don't think they don't put those two on the card. Fatu's kind of they're pushing him a lot right now. LA Knight they usually have on the card. He's a big name for them.
Then, yeah, I mean, you know what? Then I had it written in myself, so just do that for the U.S. title then.
Hold on, but we don't have a real multi-man match for night 2. Maybe this is it. You get Carmelo Hayes in there. You get maybe Andrade in there. You get some other names in there to fill out like a 6-man U.S. Shinsuke.
Fatu, Knight, and Braun. Yeah, Braun could be in there too. Fatu took him out. Yeah, you can throw all those names in there. I'm fine with
So
that.
like U.S. title multi-man match. Because I don't know if they'll do a ladder match.
Yeah. So that means with our current card, we are leaving the Raw tag titles off the show. We are leaving the women's U.S. title off the show, and the women's tag titles off the show.
Yeah. And I still don't think the women's IC titles going to be on the show. I think you were right that the women's tag titles is going to be on over the women's IC titles.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to.
I don't like this card. I'm just looking at it, and granted, we're wrong probably about 90% of this because they're going to change so much.
Well, yeah,
but even the stuff that we think we're right about, like looking at night 1, Uso versus Walter, not crazy about. I like the Owens-Sammy match. I'm going to like the Breaker-Styles match. If it's like a TLC match or something like that, the tag team time match is going to be good. And then we go to Charlotte versus Rhea, which we've seen a bajillion times. I hope I'm wrong about that, but all signs are kind of pointing to that. Priest and McIntyre, I have no interest in. I don't think Lyra versus Bayley, so like that's going to be Night 2, don't care about the Jade storyline because Jade sucks. Alexa versus Stratton, we hope is the match, but like we have no idea what they're doing with Stratton. Cody versus Punk will be good. Cena versus Logan will not. Roman versus Rollins will be good. And then if they do these last 2 matches, I don't know.
Honestly, the only matches I don't like that we did here are I think we got the women's title matches wrong. I know we're going with what you wanted to do, but I don't think that's the way. I think it's going to be Charlotte and Tiff.
In my defense, I went with the chat. 2 other people also said they felt like they were going with Charlotte Rhea, so I just went with the chat.
And then you know what? I mean, if you want to talk run it back, I mean, they might bring Becky back and do Rhea versus Becky now that, kind of run it back because Becky was sick last year and like they didn't really get a full thing, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right.
That's fine. All right. Well, that's our potential WrestleMania 41 card.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how things look over the next few months. I'm sure something's gonna happen now, tomorrow, something's gonna happen now on SmackDown this week and blow it all up just like last year when The Rock showed up and Cody gave up his title shot. So who knows? Maybe Jay will get beat up and give up his.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, please join us Thursday at our new start time at 8 p.m. We'll be doing a review of the predictions that we picked for the Royal Rumble, see what we got right, see what we got wrong. And we'll be reviewing this week in wrestling. We'll be talking about what happened last night on Raw more in depth. We'll be talking about Collision and Dynamite. And, of course, more Royal Rumble talk. So please join us Thursday, 8 p.m. See everyone later. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.